Every small group gets off track. Maybe somebody answers a question in a way that was never really meant for that question to be taken. Or as the group goes and discusses the issue, each new comment raises a new idea that spins way away from their initial idea of the question. Or somebody just raises something that is completely irrelevant to the discussion that's on the table at the time. However it happens, small tangents and rabbit trails can get your group off track. And as a small group leader, it's your job to manage tangents. Let me give you 3 ideas on how to do that. First of all, not all tangents are bad. Sometimes a quick rabbit trail can really be beneficial to your group. For example, somebody might raise an issue that's really not far off the topic, but it's not really addressed in the discussion questions in the discussion guide, and yet everybody in the group is thinking about that issue. And so take a few minutes to address that issue and then steer it back, to the main topic of discussion. Or sometimes a quick rabbit trail can help people get going in the conversation. A conversation can be really dull if people aren't participating. And so sometimes a rabbit trail can help the group get engaged and get talking about something, and then you can lead them back to the main topic at that point once they're engaged. And so not all tangents are bad. Now, the second thing I want you to understand, though, is that you need to learn how to bring a tangent to a close. Don't lose control of your tangents. As the leader of the group, it's your job to decide how long you're going to let that tangent go on. Now, you may decide in your mind it's going to go 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 8 minutes or whatever, but you have to have a cutoff time in mind when you're going to stop that part of the discussion. You can even share that with the people in the group and say, hey, let's give this discussion 5 minutes. But it's your job to bring it back to the main topic again. That's an important part of leading your small group, because people are going to get frustrated if you let the tangent go on too long, even if it's something they're interested in. Now, certainly if they're not that interested, they're going to get frustrated quickly. But even if it's interesting at the moment, at that time, if you chronically allow tangents to take over your group over and over and over again, then the group members are going to get frustrated with that in time. And so learn how to bring the tangent to a close. Now, the third thing about it is you want to learn to tie the tangent back to the main point. One of the best ways to try to get the discussion back on track is to find some point of connection between the tangent and the main idea of the lesson that you're talking about. Try to find some connection between what the group is talking about in their tangent with maybe the next question that you want to answer. Now, that can be pretty easy in some cases. It can be really difficult in other cases. You might say something like, hey, I appreciate how we're talking about this topic, and that really reminds me of really what this next question is all about. If you can find a smooth way to transition back to the discussion questions you want to use, then that'll help you get back on track. Now, sometimes a tangent is so timely that it's more important than the main point, at least for a few minutes. It could really reflect something that's really going on in the life of the group and therefore needs to be discussed, at least for a time. But don't let it get out of control. Eventually, you're going to guide it back, and people in the group will thank you for helping the group find its focus again as you learn to keep your group from going off track.